Hi there, and welcome back to English and Ease. I'm Emily, and if this is your first time here, I'm really glad you've joined us. This podcast is your quiet little space to get more comfortable with English, one story and one conversation at a time. Now, before we begin, just a gentle reminder. If you're enjoying these episodes, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you don't miss a new story. We post regularly, and our whole goal here is to help you improve your English in a way that feels calm, natural, and a little bit personal. So today, we're diving into something I think every English learner struggles with at some point: how to understand fast native English speakers. Have you ever watched a movie, or maybe just a casual YouTube video, and found yourself wondering, wait, what did they just say? The words seem to blur together. The sentences move too fast, and even though you recognize some words, the full meaning just slips away. If that's happened to you, you are absolutely not alone. Here's the good news, though. Fast English isn't a mystery, and it's definitely not out of your reach. With the right practice and mindset, you can absolutely train your ears and your brain to follow native level speech more easily. And that's exactly what we're going to work on together in this episode. We're going to talk about real-life examples, practical strategies, and gentle daily exercises you can start using right away. These will help you tune into natural English, how it's really spoken in conversations, in cafes, in movies, and even in those fast-paced moments when emotions run high. And by the end of this episode, you'll have a solid understanding of how to break through that speed barrier and feel more confident, even when you're listening to fast speakers. All right, let's get into it. Let's start with a simple image. Imagine you're standing on a train platform. You hear a train approaching, but it's moving so quickly that all you catch is a loud whoosh as it rushes past. That's what fast English can feel like. You hear the sounds, but the details, the words, the structure, the meaning, fly right past you. They blend together. They skip. And by the time your brain processes what was just said, the speaker's already moved on to something new, and it can feel frustrating, right? But here's something comforting. It's not your fault, and it doesn't mean you're not good at English. What's happening is actually very normal. The English we study in textbooks is clean, clear, and complete. But the English people speak in real life? It's messy, emotional, and often unpredictable. Native speakers drop sounds, link words together, stress certain syllables, and rush through the ones they think you'll just get. So really, it's not that you're bad at English. It's that you haven't been trained yet to hear it the way it's naturally spoken. Let me give you an example. In a textbook, you might see this sentence: "What are you doing?" Nice and clear, right? But in a conversation, a native speaker might say, "What you doing?" Or even just "cha doing." Totally different sound. Another one: "I am going to the store." But in real conversation, it might come out as, "I'm gonna go to the store." So even though you already know these words, when they're shortened and blended together, your brain doesn't always recognize them in real time. That's where practice comes in. Because understanding fast English isn't just about vocabulary or grammar, it's about rhythm, connected speech, and repetition. It's about hearing the same real patterns over and over until your brain goes, "Oh, I know this. I've heard this before." Let's pause here for a second and talk about a really important piece of fast English: connected speech. Connected speech is when native speakers link words together and smooth out the sounds. It makes conversations flow faster, but it also makes them harder to catch if you're not used to it. Here's a common one: "Do you want to eat?" Now slowly you'd hear all four words: do, you, want, to eat. But naturally that becomes, "Do you want to eat?" Let's try another one. "Could you help me out?" Slower. Could you help me out? Faster. Could you help me out? You see what's happening here? Sounds are dropping or blending. Could you becomes coulda. Want to becomes wanna. These shifts are completely normal in native speech. And once you start listening for them, really listening, you'll start to recognize the same patterns again and again. So now let's do a little mini practice together. I'll say a sentence slowly, then naturally. You just listen. Don't worry about repeating yet. Just focus on hearing the difference. Slow. Did you eat already? Natural. Did you eat already? One more. Slow. What are you going to do now? Natural. What are you going to do now? Notice how the sounds get compressed? And how the speed changes the shape of each word? Now you can try repeating. Say it with me. Did you eat already? What are you going to do now? It might feel strange in your mouth at first, and that's okay. That's your brain learning to connect what you see on the page with what you hear in real life. The more you listen and repeat, the more natural it becomes. This isn't about sounding perfect. It's about getting familiar with the flow. Let's wrap up this first part with a simple daily habit you can try starting tonight. Here's the idea. Choose a very short clip from a show, movie, or YouTube video. Just 30 seconds or 1 minute. And do this. First, listen to it without subtitles. Just let it play. Don't try too hard. Just hear the rhythm and the emotion. Then, turn on subtitles. Listen again, and pause after every sentence. Repeat each line out loud, but here's the trick. Say it the way it sounds, not the way it's written. Try to copy the tone, speed, and feeling. Do this 3 times with the same clip. This is called shadowing, and it's one of the most powerful tools you can use to get better at both listening and speaking. It trains your ear, it trains your mouth, and it builds a bridge between the English you've studied and the English people actually use. We're going to keep building on this in the next part. But for now, just remember this. Fast English isn't fast for the people who grew up with it. It's just familiar. And with practice, it can become familiar for you too. I hope you're feeling encouraged, because this next section is where things start getting really practical. So, let's go deeper into a skill that helps your brain truly catch what fast English sounds like. It's called the 1-minute rewind. Here's how it works. You choose a short video, just 1 minute. That's all. Not 10 minutes, not 5. Just 1. Something spoken by a native speaker. Could be a podcast, a vlog, a scene from a TV show, anything you find interesting. Now, your first step is to listen to it all the way through without any subtitles. Don't pause. Just let it wash over you and see what you pick up. Then, go back. Play it again, but this time you focus on just one sentence. Listen to that sentence. Pause. Try to repeat it out loud. Play it again. Repeat it again. If it's tricky, break the sentence into smaller parts. Word by word, sound by sound, feel the rhythm in your mouth. This practice helps your brain start catching those little hidden pieces of speech, like reduced sounds, contractions, and all the connecting phrases that don't always match the written form. It's not about speed, it's about training. 1 minute a day may seem small, but imagine this. If you do that every day for a month, you'll have practiced 30 different real conversations. And your ears? They'll be sharper. Your responses? Quicker. And your confidence? So much stronger. Now, let's talk about real-world English, the kind that happens on sidewalks, in busy coffee shops, or between friends on a Friday night. This kind of English is rarely perfect. It's not always clear or grammatically complete. In fact, it's often filled with slang, shortcuts, and phrases that you won't find in textbooks. Here's an example. Instead of, "Let me get something to eat," someone might just say, "Let me grab a bite." Or, instead of saying, I'm going to leave now, a friend might say, I'm a head out. If you're thinking, wait, what? I never learned that. Don't worry, most learners haven't. These phrases are part of what we call natural messiness in spoken English. And the more you're exposed to it, the more comfortable and confident you'll feel when you hear it in real life. That's why I always suggest watching shows or interviews where people are just talking normally. No scripts, no teaching voice, just authentic speech. You can even start by watching with subtitles. Then, when you're ready, turn them off and try to catch the meaning on your own. You'll be surprised how quickly your ears begin to adjust. Here's another simple practice. Super effective and kind of fun, too. It's called dictation practice. Don't worry, it's not a test. You just take a short audio clip. Again, something very short. Maybe 1 or 2 sentences. Play it and try to write down exactly what you hear. You might miss some words. That's okay. Just give it your best guess. Then, play it again. Fill in what you missed. Do this 2 or 3 times until you feel like you've written the sentence correctly. Then check the subtitles or the transcript to compare. This practice is great because it trains your attention to detail. It shows you exactly which words are hard for you to catch, and why. Maybe it's because the words are reduced, like should've instead of should have. Maybe the sounds are blended together, or maybe you just haven't heard that expression often enough before. Whatever the reason, this kind of focused listening makes you stronger. Let's try a quick one together right now. I'll say a sentence quickly, and you try to write it down. Ready? Here it is. I should have told you earlier. I'll say it again. I should have told you earlier. Now, did you catch that? Not, I should have, but should have. Go ahead and repeat it after me. I should have told you earlier. It's one small blended word, but mastering these little moments adds up. Let's move into one of the most helpful listening techniques of all, chunking. Now, this is a word you'll hear a lot when you study natural language, and for good reason. Chunking simply means that people don't speak word by word, they speak in groups of words. These groups are called chunks. So, for example, when someone says, "How are you?" they're not thinking, "How are you?" They're saying it as one idea. How are you? Or, do you want to go? Becomes do you want to go? These aren't just random blends. They're common patterns your brain can learn to recognize. So instead of translating each word, your brain starts processing entire chunks at once. And that's what makes listening feel automatic. Here's how you train for chunking. You listen to real conversations and focus on those repeated, natural patterns. You copy them. You speak them. You make them part of your daily use. Watch enough shows and you'll hear it. You know what I mean? I gotta go. Let's take a break. These become audio blocks your brain stores. And once they're familiar, you'll start understanding full sentences more easily, even when they come fast. Another fun method I love is what I call the listen and imagine method. It's especially helpful if you're a visual learner. Language is not about perfection, it's about progress. The goal isn't to understand everything, it's to understand more than you used to. And that's a win. In this part, I want to share a method that's really close to my heart because it works even when you only have 5 minutes a day. It's called repeat after pause. You find a short clip, again, just 1 or 2 minutes, and play one sentence. Then pause. Try to repeat the exact sentence out loud. Not just the words, but the tone, rhythm, and speed. This is a shadowing technique, but it's a little more focused because you give yourself space to pause and process each line. So here's how you can do it. Play the first sentence. Pause the video. Say the sentence exactly how you heard it. Move to the next sentence. Repeat. It's simple, right? But incredibly powerful, Because when you repeat what you hear in real time, you're training your tongue to move the way native speakers do. You're building a sense of natural rhythm. And something amazing happens over time. You stop overthinking your English. Instead, your mouth just knows what to say. And your ears? They stop struggling to keep up. Even just 5 minutes of this every day will make a real difference, because it's not about how long you study, it's about how focused your practice is. Now, let me share something I've seen many successful English learners do. It's called active listening. Active listening isn't just hearing the words, it's paying attention to how those words are being said. Think about it. When someone says, "I really don't want to go," did you notice what word was stressed? It wasn't don't. It was really. That one word tells you everything about how the speaker feels. This kind of emphasis, this stretching of certain syllables, is one of the key signals in native speech. You don't need to understand every single word to get the meaning. You just need to listen for those emotional cues, and you can practice this very easily. Choose a short dialogue, maybe from a movie scene or an interview. Watch it once, and just focus on how the speaker says each line. Where do they raise their voice? Where do they slow down? Which words are louder? Which ones disappear? Soon you'll notice that even when the language feels fast, your understanding is getting stronger, because you're listening with more intention. Another thing that can help massively, especially if you feel overwhelmed, is building up your background knowledge. Let me explain what I mean. Imagine you're watching a video about travel. If you already know a few words and ideas related to travel, like airport, luggage, check-in, it's easier for your brain to follow the speaker. Why? Because your brain is predicting what might come next. It's already expecting the topic. This is called context-based understanding, and the more you build your knowledge in different areas, shopping, food, sports, technology, the easier it becomes to follow conversations in those topics, even when they're fast. So here's a tip. Try choosing listening materials based on your interests. If you love cooking, watch recipe videos or cooking shows. If you enjoy fashion, find style vlogs. If you like science, listen to short science podcasts. That way, you're not just practicing English, you're doing it with content you care about. And that makes learning feel a lot more enjoyable and a lot less like studying. Let's do another quick listening and imagining exercise now. Just like earlier, I'll describe a scene in fast but natural English. Your goal is to catch the main idea, not every word. Don't worry about understanding 100%. Just build the picture in your mind. Here we go. So, I was running late for work, spilled coffee on my shirt, missed the bus, and had to call a ride just to make it to the meeting. Now pause. What happened here? Even if you didn't catch every single word, you probably understood this person had a really chaotic morning, running late, spilling coffee, missing the bus. That's the goal. This is real listening, focusing on meaning, not perfection. And it works. Because in daily life, people don't speak slowly and clearly for you. They speak the way they naturally do. And your job isn't to hear every syllable, it's to understand the message. The more you listen with that mindset, the easier English becomes. Let's shift gears now and talk about a topic that's very important: pronunciation and connected speech. So, pronunciation isn't just about how you sound, it's also about how well you understand what other people say. Because when native speakers connect their words, they don't say each word separately like we do in a classroom. Let's look at a couple of examples. What do you want to eat? In real conversation, that becomes, what do you want to eat? Did you see it? Turns into, did you see it? These changes can feel confusing at first, but they're totally normal. This is called connected speech, when sounds are dropped, linked, or changed to help speech flow faster and more naturally. And the way to get used to it? Practice it yourself. Try saying gonna instead of going to, wanna instead of want to, lemme instead of let me. At first, it might feel strange. It might even feel a little too informal. But remember, this is how English actually sounds in real life. If you want to understand fast speech, you have to start speaking that way too. Even just during practice. It trains your ears. It makes those same sounds easier to catch when someone else uses them. Now let's try the echo method. This is another amazing tool for developing both listening and speaking at the same time. Here's how it works. You play a sentence spoken by a native speaker, and then immediately repeat it like an echo. Same rhythm, same tone, same speed. So if the speaker says, "I can't believe he said that," you repeat, "I can't believe he said that." It's not about memorizing. It's about mimicking, trying to sound as close as possible to the original. This trains your mouth to move quickly. It helps your ears recognize the real tempo of English speech. And after just a few days of doing this, you'll start noticing a real difference in your ability to follow fast conversations. Try this with YouTube videos, podcasts, or even TikToks. Anything where the speech is natural and expressive. The key is to listen carefully, and then echo back immediately. Now, let's talk about something that trips up even advanced learners: accents. Here's the thing: not all native English speakers sound the same. There are American, British, Australian, Canadian, and many more accents. And even within each country, there are dozens of regional differences. For example, someone from New York may speak quickly and with a certain sharpness, while someone from California might sound more relaxed. A Londoner doesn't sound like someone from Scotland. So if you've ever felt like, "I understood the last video, but I can't understand this one," it might not be your fault. It might just be the accent. And the best way to train for this? Expose yourself to as many accents as possible. Try listening to interviews or content from different English-speaking countries. YouTube is a goldmine for this. Search for Australian vlogs, British interviews, Irish podcasts, or Canadian storytelling. You'll notice that even though the words are the same, the pronunciation and rhythm can vary quite a bit. But that's not a bad thing. It just means your brain is learning to become more flexible. And the more flexible your ears are, the more confident you'll be, no matter who you're talking to. We'll wrap everything up with more listening ideas, review what you've learned, and set you up with easy ways to keep practicing after this episode. We're going to bring everything together and add even more ways to help your listening skills grow, even after today's episode. Let's start with something fun and relaxed: listening to informal conversations. Sometimes the best way to learn is to simply hear how people really talk in casual situations. And one of the most natural forms of that is through little scenes, tiny snippets of life. So let's listen to one together. I'll speak in a casual American accent, and I want you to try and catch the meaning. Not every word, just the message. Ready? "Hey man, I'm heading out soon. You coming or nah?" Let's go through it slowly. Hey man, casual greeting, super common. I'm heading out soon. That means I'm leaving in a bit. You coming or nah? Informal way of saying, "Are you coming with me or not?" You might notice that the G is dropped in heading and coming. That's super common in spoken American English. It sounds like headin' out, comin'. Try repeating it with me. Hey man, I'm headin' out soon. You comin' or nah? Practicing these small casual lines helps you get a feel for how real conversations flow. They're fast, sure, but they're also predictable once you've heard enough of them. This is the kind of language you won't always find in a textbook, but it's what you'll hear all the time in cafes, chats, movies, and even online. So let's talk about how you can use movies and shows to level up your listening skills. even when the dialogue feels fast or unclear. Here's what I recommend. Start with subtitles in English. Watch the scene once, paying attention to the story and the rhythm of how people speak. Then, replay the same scene without subtitles. Can you follow it now? Try to understand what's being said just by listening. Pause after each line and repeat it out loud. Try to copy how it's said, not just what's said. Write down phrases that feel useful. For example, we've got to hurry or we'll miss the train. Here, we've got to is a real-life way to say we have to. The magic is in these little discoveries. You start realizing, oh, this is how people really say things. And suddenly, English starts to feel less like a subject and more like a language you live with. Another beautiful way to train your ears? Songs. Yes, English music is an amazing tool for learning. Here's how to make the most of it. Choose a song you like, one with clear vocals and real emotion. Listen to it once without reading anything. Let the music carry you. Just feel it. Then, look up the lyrics and listen again while following along. Finally, try singing with it, even softly, even just one line. You'll notice that many songs use common, everyday language, like, I'm gonna find another you. Here, gonna replaces going to. These small shifts show you how English changes in real conversation and how rhythm, tone, and emotion shape everything. And because music sticks in your head, your brain holds on to these phrases for longer. You might find yourself humming a line and realizing, hey, I know what that means now. That's powerful. Let's try another practice paragraph. This one, a fast-paced situation that could happen any day. I'll say it first naturally. Then, we'll break it down and repeat it together. Here we go. We were supposed to meet at 7, but I got stuck in traffic and then couldn't find parking, so I ended up getting there almost an hour late. Let's go over it step by step. We were supposed to meet at 7. The plan was to meet at 7. But I got stuck in traffic. I was delayed because of traffic. Then couldn't find parking. More delays. So I ended up getting there almost an hour late. Try repeating the whole thing with me. Break it into pieces if you need to. We were supposed to meet at 7. But I got stuck in traffic. Then couldn't find parking. So I ended up getting there almost an hour late. This is how real people speak. It's not always polished, but it tells a clear story. And once you practice hearing it, your brain gets used to this style. Over time, you won't need to slow it down. You'll understand it naturally. Here's something I want you to keep in mind. Listening more isn't always enough. You need to listen better. That means being intentional with what you listen to. So, ask yourself, what are your daily or weekly goals? Maybe it's listening to one short podcast episode each morning. Maybe it's doing 3 shadowing practices each week. Or maybe it's rewatching your favorite scene from a movie, but this time focusing on how the speaker pauses, stresses words, and links ideas. The truth is, improvement doesn't come from one big push. It comes from steady, small steps. You don't need hours. You just need consistency. And you'll start to notice it. You'll catch more words. You'll respond faster. You'll feel more in control, even during quick conversations. That's the reward of smart listening. Let's do one more practice together before we wrap this part up. I'll describe something quickly and naturally. You just listen and try to catch the main idea. Here it is. So, I got to the restaurant a bit early, ordered a drink, checked my phone, and then realized I was at the wrong location. What happened? Even if you didn't get every word, you probably understood that the speaker showed up somewhere, waited, and then found out they were in the wrong place. That's what you want. Following the meaning, even if the speed is high. This is real English. This is how we train your ears. You've made it all the way through, and I want you to pause and recognize that. Seriously, Take a second. You've been listening actively. You've practiced repeating. You've visualized scenes and followed fast speech. That's a big deal. Today, we've gone deep into the world of fast, natural English. And now, let's take a moment to review what you've learned, so you can take it with you and keep building from here. First, we talked about why native speakers sound so fast. It's not because they're trying to be difficult. It's just how real communication works. They connect words, they skip sounds, they use emotion, tone, rhythm. They speak in phrases, not isolated words. You learn that what you need isn't just vocabulary and grammar. What you really need is exposure, awareness, and practice. And we practice that with techniques like shadowing, repeating after native speech, imitating rhythm and tone, 1-minute rewind, training your ears using short clips every day, dictation, listening carefully and writing down what you hear, chunking, recognizing groups of words as one unit, not translating word by word, visualization, listening and imagining the scene like a mental movie, echo method, immediately repeating after a sentence to feel natural rhythm. Repeat after pause, speaking aloud line by line, slowly building fluency. You also learned about connected speech and how important it is for understanding real English. Words don't always sound like they look on the page. That's okay. That's normal. We explored contractions, reductions, and how native speakers shorten want to, wanna, going to, gonna, did you, didja, let me, lemme. Learning to hear these helps your brain connect the dots faster. And speaking them helps your mouth move like a native speaker's. Then, we went deeper into how to train your listening like a real-life skill, watching shows with subtitles, then without. Picking content that's familiar to you, based on your interests. Listening to songs and reading lyrics. Practicing emotional listening. Focusing on tone and stress. Getting used to different accents by exploring English from various regions. You've practiced following meaning, not just words, because that's how native speakers understand each other. Not by analyzing, but by feeling the rhythm, catching the flow, and recognizing the picture behind the words. Remember that example? So I spilled coffee, missed my bus, and had to call a ride. Fast, yes, but the meaning? You caught it. That's what real-world English is all about. Now, here's what I want to leave you with. You don't need to understand every single word. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep going. Progress in English is a quiet process. You don't always see it, but it's happening. Every time you catch a new phrase, progress. Every time you understand a conversation you couldn't before, progress. Every time your brain says, wait, I think I know that sound, that's progress. So give yourself grace. Some days it'll click. Other days it won't. That's normal. But if you stay consistent, if you keep practicing, even just 5 minutes a day, you'll get there. And not only will you understand fast English, you'll enjoy it. You'll feel it. You'll become part of it. Before we wrap up, I want to share a few final tips you can take with you this week. Set a tiny daily goal. For example, today, I'll repeat 3 fast English sentences out loud. That's enough. You don't need more to grow. Choose joy in your listening. Don't only pick educational content. Watch comedy, listen to music you love, follow a vlogger you connect with. The more you enjoy the content, the more your brain stays engaged. Celebrate your small wins. Did you recognize a new phrase today? Did you repeat a tricky sentence without stumbling? That's a win. Write it down. Own it. Stay curious. Ask yourself, what else can I try? Maybe a new accent? Maybe a movie you've never watched in English? Let curiosity lead your practice. Record yourself. Once in a while, speak out loud and record your voice. Then compare it to a native clip. This builds awareness of your rhythm and helps track your growth. And most of all, remember this: English isn't just a subject, it's a connection to people, to ideas, to opportunities, to stories. The more you listen, the more you feel. The more you feel, the more you grow. And every time you come back and press play on an episode like this one, you're doing something amazing for your future self. So that's it for today's episode of English in Ease. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I hope you feel encouraged, supported, and more equipped to face fast English with confidence and calm. If you found this helpful, go ahead and like, share, or subscribe if you haven't already. And of course, hit that little bell so you don't miss any of our future episodes. I'm Emily, and I'll be right here next time with more gentle, practical English practice to help you feel at ease in the language you're learning. Until then, keep listening, keep repeating, keep imagining, and always remember, fluency is just one conversation away. See you next time.